Hey guys, still October. It's late October. I'm still cleaning rafts from this year, believe it or not, because of all the repairs. A lot of bears chewed stuff this year. This is why. This is the kind of shape that some renters bring their rafts back to me in. And it's obviously still moose blood, caribou blood or something. And you know, that's after I've sucked out a lot of frozen blood. But that tells me that you know, these bears are smelling stuff that they normally shouldn't be. You guys have to clean these rafts a little better before you leave the field, because not only does that really stink after a month, but it also forces me to raise my rates to cover the losses of bears ripping up these rafts. You guys have to do a better job cleaning them when you're done. And here's a quick instruction on how to do that on the go, so that by the end of your trip you've got a clean raft to return and or store in your own shed. Judging by all the bloody ice that was in there, and this rope is saturated with blood, and there's obviously some old dry blood, probably from the beginning of their harvest. It's all down the side of that raft. So anyone, you know, wondering how bears could be chewing on these rafts, that's exactly why. You got to clean these daily, man. Every time you take bloody meat off of a raft, you got to flip it over, agitate those cargo platforms. That's why I have them close to the surface at the top, so that you can just flip the raft over empty, agitate those and wash the blood out, and it also cleans that perimeter rope at the same time. If you start to develop water coming up over your inflatable floor, this boat doesn't have the inflatable floor in it, just so you can see these valves. And what happens is, when the delamination occurs, that cap tears away from the rubber or the PVC that's attached to the flange. This is from an older one that completely delaminated, and this is something I worked with a factory 4 years ago to correct. They went to this style, and you still, with Alaska conditions, these things are still partially delaminating, and you know, it's forcing us to have to repair these from the bottom side to stop water from coming in, and that's counter to what we really want as a self-bailing option. So starting this year, we're going to take the bail options off of these rafts and just deal with having to dump the water when that's the case. But to have to deal with these bail holes, bail caps delaminating is just bullshit. But if it happens, have flex tape in your repair kit. Cover them one by one as they leak, or cover them all, whichever is best for you in the field. Another important element is use your valve wrench that comes with a raft. And if you're having valve leaking issues, make sure you get that right turn to close them off well. The factory doesn't always tighten these up completely when they sell us a boat, so it's up to the customer and the renter to make sure these are tight if you're having issues with the valves. Alright, we've got a boat back from the field this year, and they said that they couldn't get this cap off and that it unscrewed and air blew out of that hole. So I want to show you what a lead filled valve is all about. Sometimes in the late fall, these things get ice in there, and it's somewhat, you know, freeze solid on the cap portion. You can see a little moisture there, and that caused that cap to freeze in place. And when they were unscrewing the cap, because this valve was a little loose, it unscrewed and let all the air out of the tube, and they were confused on how to put it back together. So quick video on how to operate these lead filled valves. These things come with a gasket, and you'll see one side has ridges on it and the other side does not. You can see how that's a flat surface and that's a ridged surface. The ridges go down, and what this does is have a back. It has a backing with threads on it, and you've got to find that. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so when you have this tube's deflated, of course, on both sides, put that backing in place. Put that seal in place, Put the threads down in there, righty-tighty. Inside your repair kit, you should have something that looks like that. It's a valve wrench. Open that cap. Make sure that these little fittings fit right into those triangles to give you some torque. There you go. And tighten that up as much as you can. Reinstall the cap. Make sure it comes off nicely. The valves go up, down, open, closed, and that's it, man. You're ready to rock and roll. This is a 3/4 inch plumbing coupling. You can get those from Lowe's. And it goes in with just a little elbow pressure and wedges in place. That way one person can inflate the boat and hassle-free.